people underestimate sleep. People think, oh, I could skimp on sleep. You cannot. It's one of the most single important things that you could do for yourself. It's your way to regenerate your cells. It's the way for your
Hmm.
brain to process what happens during the day and sort out those memories and decide, what do I need to do with this? Do I need to store this? Do I need to let go? How many times have we heard that, oh, I'm so sleepy, I can't function today? Yeah, you can't function
Hmm.
today because you didn't get that restorative sleep. Your cells did
Yeah.
not regenerate. You know, long-term effects of sleep deprivation, uh, uh, horrible.
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie. I'm on a mission to help humans become their favorite versions of themselves and to strive for overall health by healing their relationship to food and exercise, healing their relationship to their body, and most importantly, healing their relationship to themselves, all without ever having to step on a scale. I have had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who have been through a plethora of experiences just being a human and existing. I believe that every single time someone shares their story, at least one person listening will learn from it, be inspired by it, and maybe, just maybe, even change the entire direction of their life. These are the stories of humans unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast.
Concept.
So it's really nice to
Yes.
meet you
Very
finally. I
nice to
know we've
meet you
been
as
trying
well.
to, yeah, we've been trying to get together. And I think, well, I believe that like divine timing, everything we meet when we're supposed to. So
Absolutely.
today was the day that we were supposed to meet.
It's all good.
Um, so can you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and
Mhm.
why you think you are who you are?
Sure. I am Mari. My name is Mari. I am a holistic health practitioner. I I have a story. I have an interesting story. I'm actually a software developer by trade, but I spent over 25 years suffering from severe depression and anxiety. And I couldn't find relief in anything that I tried. And trust me when I say I tried everything. I tried meditations and medications, and I was in therapy, and I tried, hot showers, cold baths, like literally everything, hypnosis. And sure, some things helped, but nothing really helped. Like nothing made a huge difference. And I thought that I'm going to be living my life under this cloud of this heavy, heavy cloud that followed me everywhere. And I'll never be really, really, truly happy. And I wasn't okay with that, but I just didn't know what else to do. And I was very left brained. I only believed in things that I could taste, touch, see, smell, our five senses. Because again, software developing, right? It's math, it's
Right.
logic, it's all of that. And then
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine suggested energy healing. And I was extremely skeptical. I was like, what are you talking about? It's woo woo. It's not me. I don't believe in that stuff. Like I had this whole preconceived idea of what it looked like. And I literally thought that someone's going to be like wearing a cape and saging and chanting. And, that just wasn't me. But my friend said, just, yeah, this was my idea of what it looked like.
Yeah.
And she says, why don't you give it a try? You tried everything else. I was like, okay, I really did try everything else. So what do I have to lose? So I went to this lady who was nothing like I imagined. And I had one energy session, and she was able to rock my world, basically. I could not imagine that she was able to uncover things that came up in the session. And it was fascinating and amazing all at once and scary also because like how could she possibly know all these things and she wasn't a fortune teller. It's not a tarot reading. It's not it's not a medium. She
Yeah.
wasn't getting in touch with anyone. It was just literally energy balancing. And it was so fascinating that I said, oh my goodness, I need to learn how to do this. I need to. There are all these tools available that people are not aware of. People just don't know what's available. And people are walking around, not to mention that there's a huge stigma about mental health and getting help when you need. And most people will have no problem going to a doctor and taking medications and doing what they need to do if they have a heart condition, right? Or if they have diabetes. But people, when they have depression, they're afraid to go out and get help. They're afraid that they're going to be, ridiculed, or people that they will not be, that people will not believe them and just say, it's all in your head. Just think positive. Thinking positive is great, but it's not a solution. And I've done that. I mean, trust me, I've done that. I've tried to think my way out of it. And so I made it my life mission to bring these amazing tools that now I have to wider audience and just say to people, I could help you. You just simply don't know what's available. And what do you have to lose? If you really tried everything, right? If you want to get help, what do you have to lose? Why don't you try this? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No big deal. So made it my passion and called my business Mari Helps, because I truly want to help people. I never want anyone to live the way I lived. I never want anyone to feel like there's no help and that they're always going to feel that way. And they're going to, listen, I cannot tell you how many nights I just stayed awake thinking, what's the point? What is the point? If this is how I'm going to be living, if this is how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life, why do I bother waking up? What's the point? And I wanted to be the best wife to my husband. I wanted to be the best mom to my daughter. And I was wondering, how's this affecting them? When they see me constantly feeling the way I felt, I wasn't fully present. I couldn't be there for them 100% because I was suffering. I was in pain. Depression and anxiety is painful. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not. It is very painful. And just because you may not have physical symptoms, when you break your arm, God forbid, that kind of pain, it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But I got carried away. I know it's a lot of words.
No, I love it. I love it. And I was going to say, to your point, we'll go to the doctor for physical things going on with us. But once it comes to mental health, we're afraid, or we believe we have to be broken, and we don't. And one thing that people don't understand is that keeping that stuff in, the mental stuff, it will show up in the physical. It will, because emotions are stored in your body, and it will.
Thank you.
It will show 100%. Up in autoimmune disorders, cancers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So totally 100%. I agree with that 1,000,000%. So I learned a whole bunch of modalities. I became certified in probably too many modalities, but I wanted to have different tools available for people. If people come to me and they want something that I could explain with science and just science-based, I have those tools. If people come to me and they say, no, I really want to try something out there, something really, woo-woo, I have those tools. So I'm able to cater to a wide range of people. And I've seen things that, I could talk about this for days and days and days. The stories I could tell, my clients' testimonials, you just can't explain it. You can't. You have to, you have to see it to believe it. Yeah. I had one client very early on, one of my first clients, actually. She was an extreme non-believer, extremely. And I never tried to convert anyone, never. If you don't believe it, it's not going to work. Really, it's not going to work. But she came to me and she says, look, I have this pain in my chest. I don't know what's causing this. I've been to all these doctors. They can't figure out what's wrong with me. And yet I'm taking medicine. I'm taking a leave daily. Can you try to see? She says, I'm willing to try anything. Can you try to see what's going on? Absolutely. I had a session with her by email. So she wasn't sitting with me because I usually, when it's one-on-one, I usually explain a lot. And when it's email, I just send out my findings. So she got my email, and then I got a response from her saying, Nothing resonated. It makes no sense. It's not me. I was like, okay, it's not you. It's not you. Again, not trying to convince anyone. 2 days later, I get a text from her, and I have this text to this day because I'm saving it. And she says, I don't know what the heck you did. I don't know what you did, but my pain is gone. And I realize that everything was applicable. I just did not want to admit it, or I forgotten about it. And she says, can you work on my daughter next? I mean, to me, that was incredible. Someone who did not believe in this, right? Not only was I able to help, but she wants me to work on her family. I mean, there's no better testimonial. There's no better, it was amazing. And the thing I like to tell people is that I really don't like it. And that's my personal pet peeve, right? When people call themselves healers, we're not healers. You, the person, you, the client, you heal yourself. All I am doing by using different modalities, yes, I am removing blocks that are there, that are sitting in your system that prevent you from healing yourself. When you cut your finger, right? Paper cut. You never need to tell your body, well, now you're going to start growing new skin. Now you're going to heal this. Your body has an innate ability to heal. You never need to tell it what to do. It already knows. But sometimes there are energetic blocks that stop you from healing effectively. And that's my job, to get those blocks out. So I'm just like anybody else. I just know a couple of things that some people may not know, but anyone could do what I do. Anyone could get trained to do what I do, and anyone could be amazing at this. So I'm not special in any way, but I do love what I do. I love this so much. I love it so much.
I love it.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I look at coaching, because I'm a coach too. I look at it like it's like a sciencey art. Yes. And I tell people, like, my skills are to help you find the blocks, like you said.
Exactly.
Help you find the limiting beliefs, exactly. Help you find everything that's already inside of you. And then I guide you to find your own answers. I don't have your answers.
Yep.
But my job is to help pull that stuff out of you so that you can, like, you.
Yeah. And give you safe space. And give you safe space.
Yeah.
Because stuff does come up in sessions. Stuff really does come up in sessions. Give you safe space to express as little or as much as you want. And know that there's never going to be any judgment from me, no matter what I hear. And I've heard a lot, trust me. Never any judgment. We're all human. We all feel things, right? If we could control what we feel, would be superhuman. We have emotions. We have feelings. We have hurts, past, present, you know. We carry a lot of ancestral trauma. We carry a lot of emotions from ancestors. I'm actually reading this fascinating book right now. It didn't start with you. It is absolutely incredible. This gentleman, Mark, he talks about how science is proving now that your DNA is modified if your mom, if your grandmother, if your grandparents had suffered significant trauma. You carry those markers in your DNA. And what it means is you're going to be more susceptible to maybe anxiety. Your amygdala is going to react. The amygdala is, what controls fight, flight. It's a thingy in the brain that basically reacts to stimuli. And it says, wait, do I need to panic? Is this something that I need to worry about? And then it processes and decides, do I need to panic? Or is this, a car honks outside, do I need to panic, or is just someone passing by? A lot of words. I'm sorry, but basically,
I love it. I love it. I'm a nerd for this stuff.
Me too. So your amygdala, it's going to be triggered much more easily. You're going to go into fight, flight, freeze much more easily if your grandparents or your mom had experienced something that maybe you were never exposed to, but now it's sitting in your system. Don't you want to remove it? Don't you want to not react the way, don't you want to not get scared so easily? So that's what I do. I love it. I could talk about this for hours, so please stop me, because I could literally talk about this all day.
Actually, I like the guests that like to talk more than me, because honestly, this episode's about you, not me. Yeah. But I did want to touch on, I think also one of the beauties of coaching is for me anyway, it's when a client has a breakthrough or something, I never go, oh, look what I did. I go, look
No,
what you did.
what
Did
you
you see
did.
that? And then
Yeah.
it shows them
Hmm.
I have more power than I think.
Yeah.
So,
It
whew,
wasn't
I just
me.
got chills.
Exactly. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was
It's not
totally you.
me. What I did was invest a lot of time and effort into learning
Mm-hmm.
these things to make sure that I could be effective and I could really guide the client safely to where they need to go. But that's all I did. I don't.
Yeah. My coach says I made sounds with my mouth.
Yeah, yeah,
That's all I
yes.
did.
And I learned, and I read a lot of books. Oh my God, a
Yeah. Oh
lot of
yeah.
books. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
No
other than
worries.
that, I mean, it's wonderful that all these utilities available, that all these modalities available, and there's so many, and there's like a
Mm-hmm.
million of them, and most of them are incredible, absolutely incredible, and simple, simple. It's so
Yeah.
simple,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to an acupuncturist, right? And when you say, I have a headache, and they take needles
Mm-hmm.
and they put it in your foot. And I'm just saying a foot because I don't remember what the points are. And you're thinking, I have a headache. Why did they put it in my foot, right? Why? Just like we have blood vessels that carry blood to
Mm-hmm.
every organ, every cell, every muscle, every system, we have energetic pathways that carry energy
Mm-hmm.
to every organ, every cell, everything, and they're called meridians. And traditional Chinese medicine knows all about that. And I believe they found a mummy, a prehistoric mummy. It's called, I'm going to butcher it, Iceman Otto, I think. It's going back to like gazillion years ago, but he had tattoos on his body showing that they already knew where these meridians are, where these points are, that
Mm.
if you apply pressure to this point, you enable energy flow and you enhance the energy flow. You don't want any any blocks. You don't want anything stuck. You want energy to flow smoothly, right? Just like you want your blood to flow
Yeah.
smoothly. It's exactly the same way. So what I do is, without putting needles, I don't like needles. I help people identify these stuck um, clusters of energy. What this woman did for me when she did my initial energy session, she uncovered that a lot of my depression was caused by an extreme panic that I experienced when I was 5 years old. And now
Mm.
I didn't remember it at a time, but then she started talking about this. I remember I was 5 years old. I was at home. I was sleeping. It was at night. And I heard my mom get up to get a glass of water. Well, a 5-year-old me did not realize that it was my mom. I thought somebody broke into the house and I was petrified. Now, that emotion was strong for me at the time.
Mm.
And it got stuck. It got lodged in my energetic body. So I had that panic and that terror and that fear sitting there. And it was contributing to me having depression and having anxiety. And if this woman didn't identify this emotion, if she didn't remove them, it'd still be sitting there.
Yeah.
I'd still feel like something's wrong with me. Why am I so depressed? Why can't nothing help me? Why am I trying all these things and nothing is helping me? Something must be wrong with me, but there was nothing
Yeah.
wrong with me. I just needed help. And again,
Yeah.
I'll be lying if I said that this woman, one session was it. It was not. We did a lot of work. I
Right.
still do work. I no longer need that woman's help. I'm able to do the work myself. I still process a lot. I'm still work in progress, but it made a significant difference. It made a bigger difference than anything prior to, you
Yeah.
know. And when I can't help myself, I have a couple of mentors I work with. I said, hey, I really need a session. Something's wrong. Because we all need help.
Yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
all could
Coaches
use
need
help.
coaches.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
Sometimes I'm too close
Sure.
to the issue. So I need
Yeah.
someone who's not going to be as close as me. He's going to say, hey, some stuff might come up.
I actually have a story to share with you. It's kind of
Yes.
similar to like I have it's not as bad anymore, but I really bad passenger anxiety. So if I wasn't the driver in the car, I would just like be holding on. If I saw brake lights, I would freak out inside.
Mhm.
And I don't ever want the driver to feel like they're doing something wrong. They're just driving. So I got some coaching on this. And at first I was like, okay, well, I got T-boned when I was 16. I went through a green arrow and a car hit me. And had I not been in the car I was in, it was like an 82 Lincoln Town car, I would have died because I got hit by a truck. But nothing happened to me. And I was driving, so I didn't understand where the passenger anxiety was coming from. And then we went back a little farther in seventh grade. I got a ride from my friend and her dad. Her dad was driving. He hit the car in front of us. Um, but getting me deeper into that memory, he was staring at us in his rearview mirror, like creepily, and that's why he hit the car in front because he didn't see them brake. And if you fast forward, he ended up being a child rapist, and oh, I'm getting chills just talking about
Yeah,
it.
me
And he
too,
went to
actually.
prison,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
died in prison of COVID. And so it was this much deeper, like, you don't have passenger anxiety because you got hit by a truck when you were 16. You were being stared at in a mirror, a rear view mirror, and got into a car accident with a child rapist.
Yeah.
No, he never, I was never assaulted by him, but like he
I
was
get
so
that.
creepy. Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so just understanding where it comes from sometimes
Mhm.
helps you take the next even baby step forward of
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I can have my husband drive more often, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had oh, you touched on something. I had a couple of sessions with a client who she was terrified of water. She was absolutely terrified of going to the ocean, not taking a bath, but like going to the ocean, seeing, being by the water. Nothing ever happened. This is how she was her entire life. She didn't know what was going on. She wanted to be able to go to the beach and enjoy it, but
Yeah.
she couldn't. She just couldn't. So she says, let's try something. Can you go a little deeper with me? I said, yeah, absolutely. I have the tools and the skills as long as you're willing to.
Yeah.
Um, we did a past life session
Mm,
where,
mm,
and so here's the thing, right? There is a million past life regression methods. They're all wonderful. The one I use, the reason I love it so much, it's because it's not hypnosis. No one is under. You as a client are talking. I am only asking you questions, but you telling me a story. I'm not putting thoughts in your head. I'm not putting suggestions. All I'm doing is guiding you. You're just telling me. And you're sitting here just like you were sitting. Your eyes are open. We're just talking. Your eyes could be closed if you choose to, but I mean, that's not, it's not hypnosis. So she's telling me, she says, oh my goodness, I see myself. She was a young guy walking. I don't remember the specifics, but to, make a long story short, she got into an altercation with someone and they put her, I'm choking. I'm having trouble speaking because I remember this and my
yeah.
throat is getting tight. They put her in the potato sack or something, and they tied weights to her feet and they tossed her into the ocean and she drowned. And that
Mm,
memory was still sitting in her and it was living in her. And she was crying. It was a whole, but she felt so much relief. She says, that makes perfect sense because
yeah.
nothing ever happened to me. Why was I so terrified of water? And, she took baby steps and then she was I'm not sure if she's able to actually go and swim, but at least she was able to go to the beach. She was able to be near a pool of water and body of water and not be
Yeah.
shaking. Yeah. How incredible is that?
Yeah.
Something that happened to her in a previous existence, let's put it this way. And I know that not everyone is open to that. I know not everyone is,
right.
And that's okay. Again, never trying to change anybody's mind. I will only do what you're comfortable with. I will only work with clients with things that they're comfortable with. Never want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. And that's why a lot of times my first session is deeply discounted, because I want people to be comfortable, feel that I am the person who could help them, show them what I could do, how I could help them, not what I could, but how I could help them,
Right.
And if they want to continue working with me, that's great. I will never, I never like push sessions. I never, people usually want to work with me once they tried and they see, interesting, but it's, I'm not for everyone. No one is.
Exactly. Yeah, I do free sessions. I'll usually do 2 or 3 free sessions with somebody. And that way I don't feel like I have to sell myself.
Yeah, exactly. I do that too.
They're already experiencing the value that you can bring to them. So,
I do that too. Yeah. I was teaching classes at my local library for a while. Because for free, obviously, I figured, how do I say this? We all need tools. We all need tools that would help us live this life, right? We all get triggered. We all get scared. I was teaching tapping, EFT. I'm sure you've seen people do this. Not everyone's familiar, but everyone's seen. There's a million videos of people sitting and acting silly and doing this. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal tool that when you are triggered or out of balance and you need to bring yourself back, you could do this anywhere without anybody's help, and no one's going to look at you. You don't look any weird. And actually, most of us already do it, but we don't know, because when we get scared, right? What do you do when you get scared, right? When you think, oh, I'm so silly. All of these points, you're touching, your acupressure points, you're already doing that. You're already doing that to make yourself feel better. You just don't know that that's what you're doing. So I was teaching tapping classes, this kind of tapping, not the dance.
Right.
I was teaching meditation classes because a lot of people have think that meditation means you have to sit in silence and not let any thoughts in, and they get scared and they think I can't because I have a monkey mind. No, there are many different ways to meditate. But I say, even if you're sitting there and your thoughts do come in and you acknowledge them and just kind of shoo them away, it's better than no meditation, right? When you stress, well, I'm sitting here stressing, I'm started doing tapping. Like, I have all these tools. I know what to do. So I do a lot of free sessions and, classes and all that. I really want people to have options, If they wake up at 3 a.m. and they're anxious, they're not going to call anyone, but they could do this, right? Yeah. They could do this and then go back to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, I use a similar tool called anchoring, where
it's like
you're familiar with it, and it helps.
Yes,
I can't be with them all the time, so
absolutely.
and their anchor again comes from them. Like I didn't. It comes from you. So
you just help them visualize and formulate and express what it is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
isn't it fascinating? Say that again.
Do you have a favorite tool?
Yes, I do. Oh my God, yes. The trifecta from Discovery Healing, the emotion code, the body code, and the belief code. Incredible, so simple. I could talk till tomorrow about the things I'm seeing with this. So simple. There's this one lady that I was working with. She was having trouble conceiving. She was trying for 6 years. 6 years. She tried IVF. She tried everything, and nothing was helping. So she came to me, and we're working together. And I'm following this map, body code. It tells you toxins, imbalances in your organs, imbalances in your system, all energetic imbalances, by the way. Like if something comes up in the heart, it doesn't mean that there's an issue with your actual physical heart. It means there's an energetic imbalance, that something's not, connected properly. Anyways, with her, a tooth kept coming up. And keep in mind, we've been working on infertility. Tooth. I'm like, why is this tooth coming up? And then I started digging deeper. It's directly connected to left ovary. Yeah. She became pregnant. And she wanted to scream from rooftops. And I was like, please wait. Just don't, it's too early. Don't. She wanted to tell everyone. I didn't get her pregnant. Her husband got her pregnant. I did not get her pregnant. So don't get me wrong. But what I did was, in addition to all the other stuff that she was doing, I cleared up blocks that was sitting in her energetic, in her aura, in her body, in her mental aura, in her energetic aura, that were preventing her from getting pregnant. I believe anyone could feel better. I think the key to this, they need to be open and willing to try. Because if they don't think it's going to work, it's a waste of my time and their time. They need to be open and willing to try. And just consider for a second that there are things that they may not actually be able to see. Just because you can't touch it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the emotion code, the body code, the belief code, incredible. The soul detective protocol, which is the one that deals with past life, but not just past life. It goes so much deeper. It looks for objections that you may have to your own healing. Because you may think, I want to feel better. I want to get over this issue, whatever the issue may be. But somewhere in the back of your mind, you don't think it's going to be safe for you to finally be over this, because you've lived with this for so long and you don't know how to live without it, or it may not be safe for your family, or you won't know who you are if you get rid of it. So it removes removes all these objections. So you can get rid of the issue. You can get over the issue and do what you want to do and have a happier, healthier life.
Yeah. I find that comes up a lot for me with my clients who have guilt and shame, where they'll want to get rid of it, but they don't feel like they're worthy, or they don't feel like they deserve it. And
and who am I going to be if I no longer have this? If I no longer carry this guilt and shame, am I going to recognize myself? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And is getting rid of my guilt and shame rectifying what I did? Whatever it is, Yeah, it's a big one.
And we all have things that we wish we didn't do. We all have things that we feel guilty for, right? And some of us did it. We made mistakes on purpose, and some we didn't mean to. It doesn't mean that we need to carry that for the rest of our lives.
Exactly.
Learn from your lessons and move on. I'm sorry, I almost stepped on my dog. That's why I'm turning.
Oh, no.
He's right under me, and I'm trying not to step on him. Sorry about that.
So where can people find you?
My website is marihelps.com. I work with people remotely. I work with people in person. I am located in Brooklyn, New York, but I have clients really actually all over the world, not just in the United States. I have clients all over the world. I find that there's absolutely no difference whether a person's sitting next to me or on Zoom like we are right now. I do a lot of sessions completely remotely when I would do an email session. And I actually find that without having to talk and explain, I do send a very detailed summary, no matter what kind of session we have in person or Zoom or whatever. I explain everything. But I find that when I'm able to really drop in and not have to talk while I'm doing this, I am able to go way deeper. I am able to find things that maybe will take 2 or 3 sessions by Zoom to come up. And to date, I want to say I probably worked with close to 100 clients, which is which is a lot. And people usually feel and notice a difference after one session. I'll be lying if I said they feel 100% relief from whatever is, ailing them,
Yeah.
physical, emotional, all of that. But they usually feel something's changed, something's shifted. I feel better. I have a sense of lightness. Something is really moving. Things are moving, things are changing. And again, if someone comes to me with a lifelong issue, chances are it's going to take more work than if someone comes to me and say, last month I started having this issue. Usually, as a rule. I mean, I've seen things where things cleared up almost immediately, and I've seen things where an issue that's seemingly relatively new would take a couple of sessions. But yeah, I only had 2 clients that I felt I wasn't successful with. So I think that's pretty good rate.
Yeah.
Pretty
did
good,
that come from you, or did that come from them?
From them.
Got it.
Both clients, they were children. And I think they were unsuccessful because it was what the parent wanted. It wasn't what the child wanted. And you can't free will. You can't free will. I will never interfere.
Yeah.
The parents wanted something that wasn't in their child's best interest, and so I consider that not to be a success. But that's what I said. You need to be willing and open.
Yeah. I was going to say, I asked that because I've had a lot of times it comes from like, we think we didn't do anything, or we think it was unsuccessful because of us telling ourselves that. I had a client I was working with, and I wasn't really, she had chronic pain, and I'm not familiar with chronic pain, but I was coaching her because I was trying to get in like my internship hours and stuff like that. And I did 6 sessions with her, and she just was like, "Thank you so much. I can't believe I'm like, I didn't do anything." So I was telling myself, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm not helping her." And she's thinking, "Oh my gosh, she's helping me so much."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I asked that, because a lot of times we think we're not doing anything, and it's really.
Oh, don't get me wrong. At first, I thought it was me. I thought it was me, because they said, "Oh, he wasn't successful." I was like, "Oh, I didn't do well," I felt awful, but then I had to really sit and think, because with one of the clients, I worked with that child for a couple of months, and I get feedback after each session, and I looked at all the feedback, and it was all positive. It was a child with anxiety. It's amazing. His anxiety is much less. He's able to go to school. He's able to stay home alone. It wasn't older. He wasn't like a 5-year-old. It was safe to be home alone, He's able to stay home alone for a little bit. Like it was amazing. I was like, so what happened? And then I looked towards the end. I was like, oh, it wasn't that it wasn't successful. It's just, it wasn't what the mom wanted, And like I said, I love working with children. I find I get fastest results with children, but my main demographic is women. I mean, like I said, I work with children. I work with anyone, people who need help I work with, but my main clientele is women. And I'm changing the course a little bit of where I'm going. I'm still working with depression and anxiety, but I'm moving into sleep issues, because when I turned 47, my sleep just stopped. I was like, 3 a.m. What's wrong with me? Why can't I be asleep? I'm looking out the window. Do I get up? Do I go back to sleep? Do I go do some work? And it wasn't one night or 2 nights. It was ongoing. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on with me, And it took me a while to come up with a program, a system that I follow now with people who come to me, because sleep is, people underestimate sleep. People think, oh, I could skimp on sleep. You cannot. It's one of the most single important things that you could do for yourself. It's your way to regenerate your cells. It's the way for your brain to process what happens during the day and sort out those memories and decide, what do I need to do with this? Do I need to store this? Do I need to let go? How many times have we heard that, oh, I'm so sleepy, I can't function today? Yeah, you can't function today because you didn't get that restorative sleep. Your cells did not regenerate. Long-term effects of sleep deprivation, horrible. Like, I didn't know that. Now I do. It's, oh my God. So yes, I'm working on a program. Actually, I'm hoping to release it as a course that is going to include group healing sessions, but it's also going to address individual contributing factors like hormonal imbalance and your circadian rhythms and your cognitive function and all of that. People need to sleep. People need to sleep. And women, we always tend to take care of our families and everybody else before we take care of ourselves, right? So what if I don't get my 7 hours of sleep? It's going to catch up. It's going to catch up to you. And you don't want that to happen. So,
sleep, like you said, it's so underestimated. It is connected to our appetites. It's connected to our energy and willingness to want to move our body every day. It's connected to
everything.
It's connected to everything. And I love that you mentioned that, because I've been calling them pillars of health. I don't know if I like that, but one of them is rest the beast. My business is Unveil the Beast, or Beautiful Beast Within. And one of the things is rest the beast, heal the beast, and rest the beast, because sleep is connected to all of it. So it's kind of like sleep is in the middle, and then all the other aspects of our health go on the outside of sleep. And so I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I am screaming from the rooftops, get some sleep. You need to get sleep. No, you do. You absolutely. And you know what? People think that they're going to take melatonin and go to sleep and it's going to help them. Melatonin is misunderstood. Melatonin signals your body that it's time to sleep. So if you're traveling and you're suffering from jet lag, yes, take melatonin, because it will tell your body that even though it's 6 p.m., it's time to sleep. It has absolutely no effect on the length of your sleep or the quality of your sleep. It's not its job. It's not its job. All it needs to do is tell you, go sleep. It doesn't help you sleep 7 hours. It doesn't help you not wake up at night. So a lot of people take melatonin and expect to improve their, the quality of their sleep. And it's just not what it's for. It's just not what it's for.
Yeah. I wanted to rewind a little bit of what you were talking about with you don't just get an architect, you have a whole team of people. And one of the things that we're taught I'm a personal trainer also through NASM, and they have this whole chart on your scope of practice. And so, like, personal trainers, if you see a personal trainer who's not a registered dietitian giving out meal plans, run the other way, because that's illegal. But to my point, like, they have this whole chart on, like, this is what the personal trainers do, this is what the nutritionists do, this is what the registered dietitians do, and it's this whole chart: chiropractors, doctors, mental health professionals, all of it. And like you said, it's a team. Everybody's working together for the client and in the client's best interest. And what's really cool is when you have if I have a client who needs to see a chiropractor, I'll be like, oh, I know a guy, let me refer you to them. So it's nice when you also have a collection of professionals that you can refer people to.
Absolutely. I always say, I want to know people in my field, because this is not a competition. I'm not out to compete with anyone. There are so many people who need help. There are enough people for everyone. There's so many people who are screaming for help, especially after COVID. How about all these children? Like, I'm in New York City, right? We're in a complete lockdown. All these children, imagine little kids who went to school. Let's say they went to pre-K on Zoom because that was the only option, and they did it for a year or two, and then they had to go to the classroom for the first time. They were terrified. The rates of anxiety in little kids skyrocketed because it was a very different experience from what they tried, and they were scared. There are all these people who need help. How about teachers who had to scramble and and adjust and work on Zoom with all these things? Nurses, doctors. There were so many people who had to do things that they weren't used to, and they had to really adjust. People need help. People need help. Go get help. There is no shame. Depression, anxiety, whatever it is, if you're not feeling like yourself, if you feel like something's wrong, go get help. Talk to people. If you don't like your therapist, try a different therapist. See what options are out there. Do not sit at home and cry like I did. I'm not judging anyone. I know what it feels like, and it was awful. Awful. Wouldn't wish that on anyone. Sitting up at night, what is wrong with me? Why nothing helps? What's wrong with me? Why can't I be just like everybody else? It was really, really bad. And we're talking about 25 years of it, not like a month or two. This is a lifetime. I don't know if I would have been here now if I didn't find these methods. I don't know if I would have been. It was bad. Bad.
Yeah.
So there are options available.
It goes back to your what's the point? I've
what's
been in that.
Point?
What's the point? And what knocked me out of it was someone in my family died, and it said because you can. So that's when I was able to kind of get on my feet, so to speak.
Yeah.
Or maybe shift my mind a little bit, but I was stuck. I was stuck in that. What's the point? What's the point? Why am I even trying? What's the point? Why am I here? And then somebody died, and I was like, oh, because I still can, and they can't.
I get that.
I'm still here.
I get that.
So,
and even when I was at the deepest level of depression, I was never not grateful for the things I had. But that didn't make it better. Right. I was grateful to have a roof over my head. I was grateful for clean water and, and heat and air conditioning and my family. So it was never like, it was always like, I have all these things and I have a family who love me and I have friends and I have a job and everything should be fine. What is wrong with me? Why can't I? Well, there were energetic imbalances that I didn't know were a thing. And now I do. And now I do.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I do have one more question for you.
Go.
I ask everyone at the end of every episode, and that is, if you had one piece of advice that you could give to the world, what would it be?
Healing doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to take forever. It is very easy. It can be very easy. It can be very quick. You just need to open your mind. You just need to be open to something that you maybe haven't tried before. You don't have to suffer. Healing is available. Options are available. There is help. Just look outside of what you used to.
Beautiful.
And no shame in getting help. Yeah.
No shame in getting help?
Not at all.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, Mari helps. Signing off. Until next time.